Hi, my name is Erika Barrett. I'm currently a senior at North Royalton High School, and this is my first year in the program for the medical laboratory at Hillcrest Hospital. The title of my research is Histology Student Clinical Guidelines, tracking a surgical specimen from arrival in the surgical pathology lab through the process of the pathologist signing out the final report. Histology is the study of cells of human tissues. A tissue is a group of cells working together for a specific function. There are 4 types of tissues that histotechnicians look at: epithelial, connective, nervous, and muscle. The histology process is first brought out in the grossing cutting room. This is where the first surgical specimen is described and cut. The specimen is placed into cassettes, then the specimen is processed from dehydration through paraffin infusion. The processed tissue is embedded in paraffin wax, and the embedded tissue is cut on microtome and placed on slides. Tissue is stained and slides are cover slipped. Slides and gross description is given to the pathologist. Pathologist reviews slides and dictates signs out the report. The report from the pathologist is typed by the transcriptionist in the computer. And finally, the slides are returned to the lab to be filed according to case number and hospital. The purpose of my research was to design Hillcrest Hospital's first histology student clinical rotation into a 9-week program students can become proficient in histology and prepare to pass the National Histology Registry exam. My method of research was to observe and follow a histology technician from receipt of specimen in the grossing area until disposition of tissue blocks, slides, and pathology reports. Also, to observe, learn, record, and practice other necessary histological procedures. The clinical rotation for a histology student at Hillcrest Hospital will involve several steps. It will be completed in 9 weeks. These guidelines will go over the entire clinical rotation process from start to finish, aligning what the student's duties are for each week. At the end of each week during the program, an assigned histotechnician or supervisor will record the student's progress and test what the student has learned so far. During the first week of the program, the student will become familiar with the work area, beginning the cutting room retrieving specimens, cassettes, and observing workflow. For the second week, they will learn to operate the tissue tech processor and troubleshooting techniques. For the third week, the student will observe and practice frozen section techniques. And for the fourth week, they will begin observing processes in the histology lab, start observing the embedding process, and begin practicing the embedding technique. For the fifth week, the student will learn cutting processes and the use of the microtome. For the sixth week, they will perfect their cutting technique learned in the fifth week. For the seventh week, they will observe and participate in staining and special staining techniques and the use of instrumentation. For the 8th week, they will learn manual and automated cover slipping, handing out cases, filing blocks and slides, and cytology preparation. For the 9th week, they will review tests and evaluate areas of interest or concern and practice for the final registry exam. This is a graph illustrating the 2010 histology cases per month by Cleveland Clinic East hospitals. It illustrates the amount of work required by the pathologist and the remainder of the histology team at Hillcrest. This other graph illustrates the slide count per hospital each month in the East region. This shows an overview of the workload Hillcrest histologists must complete each month. If my research were conducted again, I suggest that before beginning the clinical rotation, the student tour the lab and its different departments, tour the hospital and other departments necessary for a histology student, become familiar with the location of supplies, lab coats, gloves, etc., and emergency procedures, and finally meet the pathologists, supervisors, and other employees they will be working with. Thank you to Ms. Nedra Starling and the Office of Civic Education Initiatives, my mentor Louise Healy and my co-mentor Sherry Gross, Hillcrest Anatomic Laboratory Department, and my peer mentors Sarah Shrippa and Melanie Rosenberg.